Okay. Hello and welcome to the Honey Tea Podcast. I'm Melissa, your host, where we talk all things the tea and how we sweeten it with a little bit of honey. So I have to say, I have to say a lot of things. Um, I'm pretty proud of myself that I've gotten to a point with the recording for the podcast that I just kind of open the laptop and I know what to do now with the phone. And I have to keep looking over for those that are watching the YouTube episode. Um, so just to make sure, because sometimes this cuts off, but so far so good. And the last time I recorded, it was pretty good. Um, yeah, so it's exciting. I did move some furniture around that I have a makeshift office, but it's not sequestered away from everyone, which is really important. If I need to work and not be interrupted, I feel like there's places I can go to do that, whether it's in my home or the college or the library, whatever it is. But I can get a lot done. So the desk basically is behind the couch. So I have an L shaped couch. The desk is behind the couch and it divides the living space and the dining room. So I can sit here and get quite a bit done while my son is there. He's doing his homework. I can be making dinner. So for me, it works. Not to discount a private space when you really do need to focus. That's why they make noise canceling headphones. So I had COVID, still playing catch up. Um, this one about took me out. I usually can keep moving when I'm sick. I don't believe I've ever been sick like this, even though I've had COVID before. Um, the body aches were unreal, were absolutely unreal. The fatigue, unreal. Like, I was in my head saying to myself, because I know action begets action. So I'm in my head saying, come on, girl, you got to get up, you got to get moving. Just, it was like on, I guess, the fifth day where, the symptoms have somewhat subsided, but they're still there. And sometimes in the past, not feeling well, a little bit of light exercise or a walk around the block or, getting up and getting a shower can really help. Nope, it didn't. My body was like, I don't know what you think you're trying to do, but you're not doing anything for about another 4 or 5 days. Um, the oh no, did it stop? Okay, it stopped. So hang on, and then we're gonna click on this, and then we're just gonna keep recording. We didn't even miss a beat. Look at that. Boom. Um, the things piling up around the house, like chores, just like keeping the floors clean, because some of you may know I have a German Shepherd. I've never had a dog that shed before I got this dog. So needing to vacuum at least twice a day and then mopping pretty much every day just to keep the floors nice and clean. That didn't get done. My children were extremely helpful, but they're my kids. And as any parent knows, the kids aren't going to clean the way that you love the house to be clean. At least that's been my experience. So started to feel a little bit better and just been playing catch up since then. Now, spring has sprung. Summer is like knocking on the door. It's practically here. So then there's outside things that I need to do as well. So it's been this past week, even though I am symptom free, got my energy back, thank goodness. Really been super, super busy. So for whoever the amazing people are who are downloading and listening to this, thank you so very much. And thank you for your patience because I am really trying to release regular episodes each week. And it is very challenging. It is definitely something that I just need to like, all right, this is what we're doing right now, which is a little bit of a segue into our topic for today. When is it the perfect time to start something? So this week, uh, this week has been really interesting. the past few weeks, actually. Um, Someone reached out to me and we're discussing uh, business moving forward and, when is the perfect time. So there are some things that they kind of want and they've wanted for a few years, but they're not 100% sure. And moving forward with the business is contingent on them making a decision. So it's like, when is the perfect time? You know, I'm from the school of thought that actions speak louder than words. So if it's been 2 years and there hasn't really been any conscious, deliberate effort toward that matter, then your actions are really speaking louder than your words, than what it is you say you want. So that's kind of come up. And then yesterday, I was in a home. No, it's doing it again. Interesting. Um, Sorry, guys. Oh, I got it. That's what I got to do. Hang on. Bear with me here. I'm like mic check 1 2 1 2, and the recorder and all the things. Okay, I think we're good. Um, I was in a home yesterday who has a family member in their home that's in a wheelchair, and the family member is an adult. There were photographs throughout the home, of the child coming up through the years, and at least from what I gathered from the photographs, the child is extremely loved. And it was my youngest son's ninth birthday yesterday. So when I get home, I'm just kind of overwhelmed with gratitude for having healthy children, because I can not imagine, I don't want to say how stressful it is to have raised a child in a wheelchair the entire life, because we adjust. That is what we do. But I'm sure it's a very different experience. And I'm sure there are moments, and this is why we have, groups that support whatever it is that you need. But I'm sure there's moments as a parent where you're like, why me? Like, why was this the hand that I was dealt? Um, and that's a whole other topic. But very, very grateful yesterday. And so this combined with other things that are happening in my life, I thought back to when I found out I was pregnant with my first child, and I was scared to death, because I didn't feel like it was the perfect time. Like, when is it the perfect time to have a kid? Seriously. I get it. I get it. I get it. Do not come for me. You want to be financially stable. That's always the first thing, right? You want to be in a committed relationship. At least that's some people's desire. You want to be a homeowner. You want to have college, saved up for all the things, right? Well, here's my experience and the friends and peers that I keep. We have similar, experiences. The child will come and you figure it out. Like, none of my children have ever gone hungry. They have never gone without. We may need to say no, we don't get everything we want, but looking back, everything was okay, and that fear didn't have any basis. It was, I think, fear of the unknown. So that plays a really big part into when is the perfect time. Now, in my opinion, this stems from, sometimes it stems from perfection, which is like self sabotage all over the place. When, hold on, I just got to add another chapter. This is so annoying. I have to keep doing this. Other chapter, other chapter two. Let's see, other, yeah, I'm just going to other chapter. Ridiculous. Other two. All right, cool. And then record. Sometimes perfectionism is a form of self sabotage. It is a form of, I don't want to say self hatred, but being so hard on yourself, never recognizing the efforts that you are putting forth and the progress that you're making, because there's only 24 hours in a day, right? We only have this moment right here. So if we're so far in the future that you can't even recognize and look back and reflect for a moment and see what the hell got you right here, then it's just going to be a miserable fucking existence, because you're constantly on the hamster wheel chasing, chasing, chasing. So there is a time for that, but there's also a balance that's required. So pausing the hamster wheel for a moment and really like reconnecting, balancing it out, resetting, whatever that is for you. We've talked about this in other podcasts. And then when we do that, we show up better. We show up more efficiently. We show up as our best selves. Parenting is a great example of that. Like if we are frazzled beyond belief and we're trying to like be there for our kids, I know myself, like I even tell my little guy, he'll ask me, he does these perler beads. And then he needs, once the perler beads are done, they're plastic beads that kind of get ironed together and the plastic kind of melts. So I do the ironing. But if I'm stressed, I'll tell him, like, no, because the one time I tried it when I was stressed, I screwed it up. And then the whole project, he needs to redo, which isn't terribly long, but you get the point. So taking that pause is really important. It also can bring a lot of clarity to get really crystal clear on what it is that you're trying to do. What are your intentions? What is the end goal? So, when is the perfect time to do anything? I think the perfect time is right now. And I hear you. I hear you. I can hear literally, if anyone is listening to this, I can hear like all of the thoughts in your head. Like, no, it's not the perfect time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough childcare. I don't have enough. I'm too tired. I'm too old. I'm too fat. Oh my God, the I'm too fat. Like, give me a break. I swear, let me tell you, I have never, ever, ever met anyone that's like, yeah, that didn't work out because they were too fat. I don't, maybe I just don't hang with people like that. I don't know, but your weight does not determine your success. Your looks, unless you're a model, does not determine your success. Your mindset determines your success. Add chapter. This is so irritating. Bear with me here. Okay. So, all of the reasons, these are excuses that are based in fear that will keep you comfortable and keep you exactly where the hell you are right now. When is it the perfect time to write the book? When is it the perfect time to start the podcast? When is it the perfect time to make the website? When is it the perfect time to make the bedazzled cat collar business? I love talking about some bedazzled cat collars. So, now is the perfect time. And this combined with that reminder that there's only 24 hours in the day, right? So Rome was not built in a day. When we take just small steps, a little bit each day, this is how we reach our goals. This is how we attain our wildest dreams. So the perfect time for anything is right now. And it's really about shutting down all of those fear-based thoughts in the mind. Now, there's lots of self-help books out there. I'm not a professional therapist. I am a certified registered yoga instructor with Yoga Alliance. I'm a mother of 3, and I am a Jane of all trades. So this is my experience that I'm sharing with you. If you want to seek outside help, therapy is amazing. Highly recommend it. Lots of free resources at the library and Google, like university YouTube. All of these things are super helpful with self-help to get to the core of what these fears are. Is it fear of being judged? I mean, we're all judging everyone all the time. You may not be saying it out loud, but we do it. It's completely natural to do it. It's whether or not you act on it and believe that it is the truth. When is it the perfect time to start the business? Yes, you're going to need some capital, you're going to need some money to start the business, depending on what it is. But a lot of times, people will use that as an excuse because it's commonly accepted, because we're all like, oh, I'm struggling with money, or I need this amount of money to start this thing. Or maybe you have the money and, it could be a million different things. But just pulling the trigger and taking small steps each day toward whatever it is. Because we're not getting any younger. I mean, Lord, I don't want to say the time I wasted in my 20s, but I had very little direction. I was wrapped up with addiction. So, that was the direction. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. But looking back, how precious that time is. So, we're here now and we're doing the things now. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to share after I add another chapter. Good googly moogly. Bear with me. So, yes. So, another thing I wanted to add, when I was younger, I think from about the age of 4, maybe 5, until my freshman year of high school, I danced at a ballet academy. It was the Ballet Royale in Columbia. I forget the address, it's not there anymore. Um, Donna Harrington Payne was the director, and she was incredible. She was no bullshit, and I loved it. I absolutely, absolutely loved every single thing about it. So very often, um, very often we adopt what our parents thought, and once I had worked through a big chunk of that, um, I was able to do something that I just never thought that I would. And this isn't pointing fingers at parents or anything, but in my freshman year of high school, I told my mom I didn't want to dance anymore, which was really, I personally, looking back, I think should have been explored, because I discovered other substances and things that made me kind of get out of my body. And I wanted to do that more. So when I brought this information to her, like, hey, I don't want to dance anymore, she was like, okay. And that was it. And that's okay. So then I had to go to the director and also tell her I didn't want to dance anymore. And she gave me more pushback than my mom did. So then that was it. Then I had all the time in the world, and I dropped out of high school, a year later. So that was great. I'm like, cool, let's go party. Fells Point, woo! So I worked through a lot, you know, in the past however many years, and still work in progress for sure. But what I'm trying to say is, a few weeks ago, I'm like, I can go to a ballet class. Of course, I'm not going to be the same size I was when I was 14. Of course, my body's not going to do what it did when I was 14. Of course, it's going to be different, because you can never do the same thing twice. We're never going to have it exactly the way it was the first time. We're going to have it the way it is right now. So I attended my first ballet class this week in like 14 years. And my body and my heart and my spirit were so happy. I almost cried in the middle of class. I'm like, bitch, you better keep it together. So super fun. I ordered the leotard and shoes, and I got a skirt and tights all off of Amazon, and signed up for the class. Hang on. Hang on. So irritating. I got to figure this out. So I ordered everything off of Amazon, and there the director was there. She was also a student in the class, and everyone was so welcoming. So welcoming. There was also a woman who was a little bit older than me and was explaining, her reasons for being there were the same. And, she just wants to move her body. Her and I were the only two non-professional dancers. So there were a couple of sets that we did that I was like, my feet. But otherwise, I think I kept up pretty good. And, I definitely stood out as a newbie, but I kept up and it was super fun. So when is the perfect time to start? Right now, whatever it is that has been gnawing at you for a week, a month, 10 years, find that thing and just do it. The benefit of being a little bit older is now the things that I want to do when I was a kid, and I would say, man, if I just had a car, or man, if I just had 20 bucks, or $2,000 now, whatever it is, just go and do it, because we kind of have our shit together to the point where you can write that check. But what's holding you back? What thoughts, what self conversation are you having with yourself on the internal landscape that's really holding you back? Because I don't think it's the money, and I don't think it's the time, and I don't think it's that you're too tired. I think it's that you're afraid of being hurt. You're afraid of failing. You're afraid of being vulnerable. When we can reach out and be our authentic selves is when we're truly connecting, is when we're truly living. Staying home safe on the couch, and I'm talking about myself because that's what I've been doing for a minute, like completely blocked off from the world. When we can connect a little bit, it's really fun and interesting to see what happens. And part of the excitement and fun of it is that it is unknown. We don't know exactly how this is going to play out. But if we're showing up as our best selves, um, then we're living. Then we're really living, because we only get one life. We've only get one go at this, and we're not guaranteed tomorrow. Not to be morbid or anything, but we are not guaranteed what happens tomorrow. So I really thank everyone for listening, and I hope you enjoy this weather. If you are in Maryland, where I am, it's gorgeous today. It's Friday the 12th. I'll release this right after I finish. I'm going to work in a bit here. So thank you so much for listening. And whatever it is, just take one small step, however small it is, even if it's just jotting it down, even if it's just a shift of perspective in your mind. Like, you know what? I can do that. Um, Go ahead. I gotta add one more chapter. Bear with me. Yes. So whatever it is, one small step in your mind, your heart, jot it down and take that step toward your biggest goal. You are so worth it. I am so grateful for you and for listening to this podcast. Thank you. Have a great day.